everybody, and this is the 2015 Cotton Gin Parade in Bostwick, Georgia. It's about to come on, and we'll let you see everything that's happening here at this particular parade, as we do it every year for you people who cannot attend, and it's always a great show for you to attend. I have the guy who is always by my side at the Cotton Gin Festival, Conrad Barnes, and we always tell you everything that you should know about the tractors, the other items that are in the parade. Right, Conrad?
That is true. We look forward to this parade, and we think that it's going to be a good one. There was a delay, but sometimes the delay is things we need, so this is a beautiful day for it.
The opening ceremonies have just been held here in Bostwick, Georgia for the Cotton Gin Festival. The gin has just closed down, and the fact that you hear the sirens in the background and the parade is about to begin, so everything is go here. Right, Conrad?
That is true. We're looking forward to all the two-cylinder tractors, all the John Deeres that come through. But right now we're going to enjoy looking at this Chevrolet. The sheriff's car. It's a 55, a beautiful example of a 1955 Chevy.
That's the kind that they used to chase bootleggers in, right?
Oh, that's true. Chase them down as best they could.
And fire apparatus from right here in Morgan County, the Morgan County Fire Department. Bostwick, Georgia. That's where it's all happening today, and I know that you are sitting back and you are looking at some of the festivities going on here today. As I told you, the gin just shut down a few minutes ago. That was in observance to the opening ceremonies where they had the national anthem and singing down from us, and a crowd of people are here. A lot of people are here, and here comes our first tractor.
Yes, that's a fairly recent example of a John Deere pulling a trailer with some wheat on it, wheat straw, when the kids are enjoying themselves.
Mayor City of Bostwick, Georgia. So they have quite a few bales of hay on there.
The Grand Marshal, is that Julio? That's what it looks like the sign says at WMOQ.
Well, here comes the Cotton Princess, or the Cotton Queen, and of course...
Joe Pat.
Okay.
Riding in an old Cadillac convertible.
That is a long vehicle.
Oh, I tell you what. The Yank Tank, as they've been called.
Yank Tank. All right. Milton, he is the House of Representative here.
I don't recognize some of these.
I don't either. The music situation there in that particular car. Here comes an old Army deuce and a half. They call him a 2.5-ton vehicle.
Yes, that's a big one too.
Oh yeah. Would you believe I used to drive one of those when I was in the Army?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I rode one many a mile.
Yeah. I drove one a lot of miles too, especially between here and Fort Stewart, Georgia and back.
Here's some more people that's enjoying themselves in the trailer with some wheat straw sitting down. All the kids are enjoying themselves, waving.
And the Kubota tractor pulling the event with a bucket on front. So there's no identification of the group of people that's on the trailer that the Kubota tractor is pulling.
Boy, that's one that's been rebuilt and repainted. It looks good. It's a win-me situation. I guess you can bet some chances on that one. And
what year model?
87.
They said it's an 87.
87, good.
But it's been rebuilt and it looks good.
Tri-County, that's the club that is in that golf cart. We're looking at the Arab people now. The Arabs. They're always here. And he's pulling a wheelie.
I tell you what, looks like it's made to pull those wheelies.
I hope he didn't run over anybody.
Oh, I tell you, looks like he's in well control of it.
Europe, and they are from the area.
Temple.
Right. They
love to play in parades like this.
Yes, and they do a good job.
To see a burned or crippled child, smiles make us trying us work enjoyable.
Another Chevrolet pickup truck, and the Loganville Loganville Springs got all the simulated animals in there.
Oh, look at that Model A. Isn't that something? I bet that's a 30 model.
Yes, slick as can be. Look how quiet it is.
Oh, notice that trunk on the rear. Isn't that cool?
Oh, that goes back a long way. More Europe temples, right? More Europe temple cars, and Shriners Hospital advertising for that. And you see that on television, the commercial they have there. A lot of good-looking vehicles here by the Shriners.
An old international pickup.
How far back does that go?
That goes back into the 40s, I believe.
Look at that long bed. Long bed, yeah.
And it fits between the tires too.
And the horse parade right now.
I tell you what, horses,
beautiful horses. Beautiful horses. A lot of people gathered today. Thousands and thousands of people.
To the Tucson Club area.
Well, we have the another truck here, another older truck, and it's a flatbed truck instead of a pickup type. Rocky Hill Farms of Bostwick, Georgia, North Georgia Two-Cylinder Club. You're familiar with them. That's a cotton picker.
One-row cotton picker. That's
right.
One that's mounted on the tractor. That's probably a 50. Goes back to 55, 56. One-row cotton picker.
Here comes
then they went to a two-row.
Two-row.
Cotton picker. It's also a little more. It's a mounted one, but it's a little more integrated into the tractor.
Well, I'm glad they invented cotton pickers. They invented cotton pickers after I quit picking cotton.
Boy, the G is a real popular one. That's probably a mid-40s, maybe a late 40s model. Model A. With a battery there just in front of the steering wheel. It's probably about a 44, 45 model. And another A. You notice those tractors do not have a 3-point hitch. That came in, you can add one, but it did not come one from the factory.
That's an old one.
Dan Bennett in Good Hope. He's been running that for the last 10 years, so I'm familiar with that particular one. 1936 B model. Has a big drawbar on it for pulling. When I started with Deere, the 50 was the tractor that I started and worked with the first year that I was with Deere. The MT came along from the new John Deere factory after the war, World War II, and they built in 1949.
And the spreader behind it.
The last Dubuque tractor, which is a vertical engine, was a 1959 model, and there's a 430 just passed. And a 630 here is a Waterloo version. The 630, that's 58, 59, and some 60, 1960 models.
Here's a smaller one.
Yeah, H model. That was the smallest Deere had up until the MT came along.
Here comes an antique.
Here's one that really catches my heart. That was one of the first ones that I worked with in the bigger line, pulling large harrows, plows, as well as a scraper. Notice that straight stack on that G. gives a good sound. It's a good, smooth running one. Farmall H, that was real popular back in the days when I first started with deer. They have it really looking good, don't they?
Yeah, really looking good. That Farmall is a 4-cylinder. How many cylinders do most John Deeres have?
Up until 1960, all of them were 2 cylinders. Ran anywhere from cubic inches to 156 all the way up to 354. That's the G model. Can you imagine the size of those pistons?
Can you imagine that? They have to be big because they're carrying so much and pulling whatever they're doing with them. They have to have a great motor.
B model was by far the most popular for the farms back in the late 30s and the 40s because it fit most of the small farms here in the South.
Cultivation tractor.
Correct. There was a planters, cultivators, harrows, all that.
Here's my favorite, the M Farmall.
The M Farmall.
4-cylinder engine.
It was a good one too. Farmall see a good cultivating, good garden tractor. Got that one well built. Notice how quiet it is.
Right.
It also has a power shaft on the rear.
That's a different color Farmall.
Well, that's a little cub they use it.
Alice Chalmers.
You notice that the 2-cylinder club is not only a club of John Deere's, but it's a club of all antique tractors. Not only Farmall, Alice Chalmers.
That is a good looking M Farmall.
Things like that, but it's also the one that's known for its John Deere's. Here comes a G that's been rebuilt. Look, notice the chrome stacks on it. Chrome stacks, intake and exhaust. Shines like new money, does it not?
Right, yes. Really shining too. They keep them really shining. And this one on a low boy trailer.
4020, that's one of John Deere's best efforts, and that is an inline engine. That's a 6-cylinder engine.
This is a Ford tractor. Is that
Ford tricycle, which is very unusual for Ford. They did make them. The number on it is 960, but it was a very popular model. Oh, he got that one fixed up. Another B model with a seat on the rear of it. Listen to that purr.
Right. Smooth running. Here comes the, has a wide front end.
Wide front end, that's called a BW for wide front end. Pulling a trailer with all the kids, they really enjoyed it.
Another Ford tractor.
Yeah, little old red belly.
N is this?
9N, I think, is what that
right.
one is, but it's in series anyway.
Right.
Painted yellow, that's the industrial version of the John Deere 40. State of Georgia owns several of those for mowing highways, the banks, and so forth.
Was that Georgia colors, or they just made them especially for the transportation department?
You notice that the yellow one also has a 3-point hitch on it. You can hook up rotary cutters, plows, harrows, and things of that nature. Alice Chalmers, garden tractor.
Grasshopper, right?
That's what it looks like. Boy, that 530 is really dressed up.
The General. So what make is it?
It looks like it's a Cleveland tractor. That's one that I'm not, I didn't demonstrate against any of those, but I ran against the D12 Alice Chalmers quite a bit. especially in the small versions of 40s, 420s, and 430s.
There's a lot of big tractors in this parade.
Got that one looking good.
Have more B John Deeres than...
Yeah, B's by far the most popular two-cylinder tractor of the A's, B's, the lettered series. Another good Alice Chalmers Super A. That was another good.
What about this big one coming right here? 4755.
That goes back to the 70s with dual tires on it. I know that gentleman. He works at Stripling's Country Store.
Really? Okay.
Driver of that 4755. A new John Deere pulling a wagon. 4620. That came along after the 4020s.
Look at this one. It's got the big claws on front.
Yeah, that's for picking up the trash and debris, clearing an area of logs, limbs, and things of that nature.
What about baled hay?
Oh, yeah, it could do that, but it's better situated for picking up debris.
Okay. Well, here comes the loud one.
You don't see a lot of these. You go back to the 30s. F20. I remember that MT, and the driver of that one, his name is Paul Bryant.
Well, you see them. A lot of John Deere's tractors in the parades now. That's
Ford that he's working on now. It runs good.
That's an old tractor.
Ford was the first one with the Ferguson system to develop the 3-point hitch.
That was the 8-in or 9-in?
Right after the war, yes. Right after the war, they came along with the Ferguson system, which Ford worked with them and made the 3-point hitch. And then within 4 or 5 years, just about everybody had it.
This one has a blade on front.
Pushing dirt, spreading gravel, and if they happen to have it up north, they can push snow with it.
What about that plow on back?
Yeah, it's a one bottom plow. Looks like it's about 14-inch plow. Works good in the sandy loam soil in the South Georgia.
That's a good looking farmall too.
Yeah, he's got it up two-tone. Now here's a very unusual deer. There's not a lot of these made. It's a high crop, wide front end, and it's also an LP, liquid petroleum gasoline for it. 720, those are very rare.
Powerful looking tractor.
Those tractors have somewhere around 60 horsepower. 720 diesel. I spent many an hour with a 720 diesel pulling harrows, platters, plows, and things of that nature.
Alice Chalmers, they have quite a few tractors out there, but not as many as the John Deere.
That is correct. That one needs a little paint job, but it really runs smooth, doesn't it?
Right.
Another John Deere 50. They were built from 56 through 54 through 56.
They really keep the John Deere's really shiny. Boy, they look brand new.
They spend a lot of time getting those units that look that good, polish them, and they haul them usually in a enclosed truck, especially like this particular 720 diesel here.
Powerful tractor.
Alice Chalmers one time was a very popular one, especially in small models, because it was so good at used on general duty around the farm, as well as gardens and small plots of that nature, truck farming, things of that nature. Farm Hall Cub, you know, those with mowers still bring a pretty good price. I haven't checked them out in the last 3 or 4 years, but
it's what
they always have a good sale value.
It's what they call a belly mower.
Yeah.
Here's a Kubota. It is a nice tractor, pulling a trailer loaded with people, and the fact that the trailer is well built too. And this coming up here.
Notice the tires on this particular unit, how it bounces.
Right.
Those are Keen and Rice tires.
The wider tires give more grip than the slim tires.
The tread is deeper.
Right.
The tread is deeper and works in the mud and where rice is grown.
Right.
And when you put it on pavement, the distance between them is so great it makes it bounce. Late model Cub.
Right.
B.F. Avery. That was one that I think came from Canada. Looks like I think it's a 2-cylinder, but it's
international.
Like it might be a 2-cylinder version.
Another M Farm Hall. Boy, does that make me homesick.
Yes. I spent many a day in the field opposite one of those, demonstrating deers of different models and styles.
The weather has been tremendously good.
Oh, isn't it enjoyable? Not too hot, not too cold, and just an enjoyable day to be out and to be in Bostwick, Georgia.
More tractors coming on. This is John Deere, another John Deere coming on.
They're gonna give us a second round of them. Look at that, they've got a sign on it, 1937.
Another Farm Hall tractor. That thing is beautiful.
Alice Chalmers did build a big tractor, didn't they?
Yeah, huge.
Here's one we haven't seen yet. John Deere LA. 2-cylinder, built by Waterloo. Sounds good, doesn't it?
You're right. How many cylinders?
2 cylinders.
An old Farm Hall.
Yeah, it looks like an M. I bet it's used today too, because it has that used look. You can count the revolutions on this one, just listen.
Sounds great.
1935 A model.
Now that's something the company will not stand behind, is a manure spreader.
That is true. Another G model. That's a real popular one. That one come along in the early 50s. One of the 1952, one of the last years of the G model. Then the 40 came along in 53 and 54.
Well, they're still coming in. There's a gap, like there was a few minutes ago. There's a gap in the parade, so they eventually coming on here. It's better to have a gap, I guess, than just running continuously, because some of the tractors are actually older than some of the others that we've seen. This is an old tractor.
You know, tractors of that age do not have power steering, but it does have a rock shaft on it. A rock shaft fits on the top of the transmission case, and you can attach different arms to it, so you can carry different items like toolbars and attach planters and things to that. Oh, here's the one that I spent many hours operating, pulling large harrows, plows, scrapers, and things of that nature.
Well, how's the driving on a wide front end compared to a close-up?
I love the sound of that one.
Here comes the case, IH.
That's a fairly new one too. Air conditioned cab, climate control, I should call it.
Radio in it. Has a radio.
Probably has
antenna.
a place to keep water, coal, and things of that nature.
8N Ford tractor.
Old red belly. Another MT. MT means it's a tricycle model. A regular M is a low with wide front end. Well, here comes another one.
Well, it's amazing that the people that are on the trailers that the tractors are pulling, they have no identification on the trailers. So we have to guess what group of people that they are. And sometimes we cannot tell you because we don't know.
When I first started with deer in 1955 at Deer Acres in Monroe, it was a training farm of about 1,500 acres that we had all kinds and all types units in there. They formed the industrial division in the South in 1957, and this was the 40-10 here. Yellow is one of the first units that we received.
That's the Ferguson. And that's the parade for sure, because the Sheriff's Department is pulling up. The people are dispersing back down to the main square.
Hello, I'm Walton County Sheriff Joe Chapman. Thanksgiving is here and the shopping season is upon us, and I want to take a few minutes to tell you something that you already know. You need to be aware of your surroundings. Be safe. When you're out shopping, if you're out at night, park in a well-lit area. If you're leaving the store and you don't feel comfortable, ask an employee to accompany to your car. When you're shopping and going from store to store, keep your items in the trunk where they can't be seen and they're well secure. If you leave them laying around in the seat, that just invites the criminal element to look inside, and that becomes a crime of opportunity. Also be aware that if someone is trying to rob you or take an item from you, please let them have what it is they want so that your safety is the #1 issue here. Please don't let anyone cause you any harm over something minor that you could live without. And again, Thanksgiving is here. Happy Thanksgiving, and from all of us here at the Walton County Sheriff's Office, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Hi there, I'm Emily Russell with Clearview Regional Medical Center, just coming to you with a really quick health update. If you have not received your flu shot this year, your flu shot vaccination, please do so. It seems that the flu has not quite hit Georgia as widespread as it has hit in other areas. And we're hoping that we don't have a flu epidemic on our hands this year as we have in years past. So the best way to prevent that is by getting your flu shot. In addition, just a friendly reminder, if you have met your deductible this year, this is a great time to get some of those elective surgeries that you've perhaps been putting off. Things like getting that knee checked out that just aches and hurts and doesn't feel quite right, or that hip that doesn't feel excellent, but you hate to go to the doctor. If you've met your deductible this year, this is the time to get in to see your physician and get those extra little aches and pains looked at, whether it be aches and pains physically, or perhaps you're having allergy troubles. We have a great ENT, Doug Miller, here on staff with Clearview ENT. That would be excellent to get into. So just whatever you might have, those aches and pains that you just can't quite figure out, we would love to see you for that. We have an expanded primary care network now serving you. We have 2 offices here in Monroe. One is off of Breedlove Drive at 704 Breedlove Drive, just across from the old hospital. And on December 1st, we'll be seeing patients 5 days a week there. We're bringing in a new physician. Her name is Dr. Julie Allen, and we are so excited to have her providing family medicine. We'll be accepting new patients. Walk-ins are welcome, and we'll be also accepting pretty much all insurance types and all ages. All the way down from pediatrics to geriatrics. So if you're looking for a primary care provider, come and see us at Clearview Primary Care at Breedlove. In addition, we have 2 wonderful and phenomenal internal medicine physicians that are here on our campus at the hospital. That's Dr. Marilyn Digamon Beltran and Dr. Robin Pettigrew. Both are internal medicine physicians and are accepting new patients. here in our medical office building, which is the 2-story building just adjacent to our hospital building here on the property. We would love to see you as a new patient there as well. And then if you live on the southern end of town, closer to Social Circle, we also have a primary care clinic in Social Circle that's open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Sandy Haupt is our nurse practitioner there, and she specializes in treating a variety of primary care concerns, as well as she also specializes in weight loss. So if that's something that you are looking into or would like some more information about, give us a call. All of our primary care providers can be found at clearviewprimarycare.com. And for the offices in Monroe, the phone number is 770-267-8464. And for our office in Social Circle, the phone number is 770-267-8462. We look forward to providing you with all of your healthcare needs. As we were talking about flu shots earlier, you can also get that done by your primary care provider. We would be happy to supply you with that and help with anything that we can. So get your flu shot, check on those end of the year deductibles, make sure you get those met, and make sure that you have a primary care provider that's kind of acting as your gatekeeper for all of your healthcare needs and concerns. We constantly are continuing to have our lunch and learns on a monthly basis. We have those once a month, and all that information can be found on our website. We also have a senior bingo the third Friday of every month here in our cafeteria at 10 a.m. and all are welcome to participate in that as well. If you would like information about any of our events or information about any of our physicians, you can visit our website at www.clearviewregionalmedicalcenter.com or call our physician referral line at 1-877-933-2762. Thanks so much for tuning in, and stay healthy.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful in the Walton County Recycling Center, and I want to thank you all for tuning in today. We just wrapped up our America Recycles Day event, and it looks like it's going to turn out to be probably our biggest turnout yet for America Recycles Day. As everyone knows, we included the paper shredding with the paint collection this year, and we did the shoebox recycling again, and we've gotten some of the numbers back. This year we took in just under 1,200 gallons of paint, and that's about 500 more gallons than we got last year, so that's a lot of paint. So we had a lot of participation on the paint side. We didn't really know how the document destruction would go, but we ended up with just under 6,000 pounds of paper we shredded here on Saturday. And we filled up 4 boxes of shoes, which is actually pretty good for the shoes. So I wanted to take the time out to thank everybody that come through, and I hope that you had a pleasant experience. And if there's any comments you'd like to make or anything you'd like to say about the event or things we may be able to do, feel free to call us. It is the first time we've tried to do so many things with one event, and we're up for any suggestions you have to try to make this thing run as smooth as we can. And we do think it went great. But again, we would encourage you guys to call us, let us know what you think about the event, leave a message on our Facebook page. Going forward, of course, the holiday season's coming up, and we wanted to remind everyone to be sure they're recycling the things that can be recycled. We make so much waste over the next couple of months, and some of that's unavoidable, and you know, of course, we understand that. But the things that can be recycled, make a real effort to maybe purchase a few things that you know can be recycled that maybe you haven't done in the past, and the things that you do have, be sure you recycle them. That's the key. And going forward, we'll also be doing the Bring One for the Chipper again this year. So we'll have Christmas tree recycling here at our center, along with the convenience sites out through the county. We don't have an exact date for that set yet, but I will get that out to you as soon as the dates are set. We are registered. We just haven't picked the dates. We normally do it for around 10 days or so. We give you guys time to get your Christmas trees in. And that's kind of what's going on around here. We're happy to have this event done and behind us, and thank you again to all of you that turned out. We appreciate you coming. Like I always say, if you haven't been out to our center before, come out here and let us show you around, show you what we have to offer here. And if you have any questions, give us a call, 770-267-1421, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Thank you.
Hello Walton County, this is Kevin Little with the Chairman's Report on Channel 16 Walton Entertainment. As many of you may know, or which I guess you do know, that we've had a large amount of rain over the last probably 30 to 60 days, unusual amount. We've had a couple of depressions coming in out of the Gulf, and then we've had some backlashes of some other storms that's gone up the East Coast. It's brought a lot of water to Walton County. Hardlaver Creek Reservoir is doing very well. If you want to go and look at it, just drive over that bridge down there and you'll be able to see water on both sides now. And it's we're actually having to let more water go than we can catch because we're having to fill it at 2 feet per week, and that's because it's going to be a soil saturated dam, and so the water's got to seep in there before it happens. But also another problem with water during these times is asphalt roads. They're porous, and I think I've talked to you many times about it. They're porous, and so when you have these wet days after days after days and you're riding over asphalt roads, it begins to pump as water gets down under there, and it creates potholes. So over the next few months you'll see a lot more potholes out on the road. And another problem we have there is you'll have ditches that are filled up with water, and they run out into the road, or sometimes they run rock out into the road or debris out there. So a lot of problems when we have a lot of rain. It is a good thing to get, and but if you see a problem or you see anything, make sure you call our Roads and Bridges Department at 770-267-1350 and report that problem where they can get it taken care of. And so that's very important as we go into these holiday season and going forward to try to fix any potholes or any water problems that you may have. Also, I want to talk to you a little bit as we go into the holiday season. It is almost Thanksgiving. Pretty sunny day here today as we film this, and but as you know, cold weather is going to come. We've had a few cold mornings so far, but not really a large amount. But if we continue to have these rains and you have cold, you're going to have icy spots and bad locations like that. So drive safely. That's very important. The state of Georgia has had more traffic fatalities this year than they have in a long time. And the accidents are really growing. I think I talked a couple of months ago about that arrive alive and stay alert is the motto of Georgia DOT this year. Please put those phones down and watch what you're doing, because that's very important. Also want to talk to you in this Thanksgiving season. I just want to let you know that I'm very thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my health, and I'm thankful for the Walton County citizens that give me the opportunity to lead our precious county here. And we're continue to be doing very well across the state of Georgia, and we're well known for what we got going on in Walton County and recognized for that. It's exciting times here. We will be making an announcement here probably right after the 1st of December. That'll keep you tuned in. We have a nice company or corporation that's going to be moving to Walton County, and so want to let you know that that's going to be coming on the horizon. So be tuned in here to Channel 16, and I'll update you on that. That's just a little snidbit. But think about, as we're in this Thanksgiving season, things that you are thankful for. If you still have your parents, make sure you tell them every day how much you love them, and anything you can do for them, make sure you try to do that. Be a friend to folks. That's very important. A lot of folks during the Thanksgiving season and through the Christmas season, they get depressed because they've lost loved ones and things. So be a part of that. And I'll lead into saying that make sure you try to take care of yourself. Just this past week, we lost one of our EMS supervisors. He was Frank Queen. He 51 years old. Very important to Walton County employees. Very important to the Walton County staff and the Walton County community. He was always a friend, always smiling, always had a laugh on anything coming up. He was a graduate of Leadership Walton from 2014, and I was very excited to do that. He led the class and always having something going on, and it's going to be a big loss for Walton County. Ronnie Allman does a good job over at our Walton County EMS, and but Frank Queen was one of his shift supervisors, and he saved a lot of lives in Walton County. And unfortunately, he passed away this past weekend. And so keep Frank Queen's family, his children, and his fiancee Missy Peters in your prayers as we go forward into this holiday season. I do want to talk to you. I'm chairman of the Walton County Health Board here in Walton County. They are offering a weight loss blood test and heart disease risk assessment for $30. Down there, they'll do all kind of blood work on you and let you know what types of problems, if you do have any, and if you don't, that'll be a good thing also. But they'll check and see about if you got diabetes. They'll check and see if you actually need to lose some weight, or if they will actually work with you to get on a program to try to help you do that. We need to try to get healthy. That's a goal that we should all try to do going forward in 2016, is try to put the best foot forward and try to all be a little healthier as we go forward into that year. The Walton County Health Department, 207-4125. They'd love to schedule you down there, and they're just right down on South Madison across from the Sheriff's Department. They can do all this blood work for you and give you the results, and then that way you can start working on your health to make it a better time. Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas. I'll be seeing you again before Christmas time, but I wanted to go ahead and get all that out and let you know that if you hadn't been downtown Monroe on Thursday night, they got a lot going on down here before Christmas. All the shops and everything's open. We got the historic courthouse decorated. It's all looking very well. So be out and about, and if I can ever help you, give me a call at 770-267-1301. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for watching. I'm Dina Huff. I'm the Executive Director for the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth. And I just wanted to give you a few community updates about things that are going on in the community, and then share with you some new information that we want to bring back to Walton County. Just some updates. As you may well know, the Empty Stocking Fund of Walton County has geared up. We've already had several application dates already. Our last application date, and you won't view this before it happens, but it's going to be Tuesday night, the 24th. But the most important thing I think you need to know as a community is the delivery date is going to be December 19th. And if you've ever delivered in the past, you know it's very rewarding to go deliver those boxes to families. So if you're interested in helping with that process this year, it's December 19th at the National Guard Armory. We ask that all volunteers please arrive by 8 o'clock so we can ship the boxes out, and actually we have those boxes delivered by 12 o'clock on that day. So if you're interested, or if you have questions, you can always give me a call here at the Partnership. The next thing I want to remind you about is the 10th annual Jingle Jog for Autism. That's going to be held again this year at Loganville High School. That's on December 12th at the Santa Land opens at 10 o'clock. That's from 10 to 12. And then the run actually is at 12:30. So again, if you have questions about that, you can call me and I'll point you in the right direction for that. The new thing I wanted to mention today, it's been a little while since you've heard about the March of Dimes in Walton County. It hasn't gone away. Premature births haven't gone away. They still happen. They happen in Georgia. They happen in Walton County. But I want to share some statistics with you that are pretty amazing. March of Dimes is not just for raising funds for premature babies. It is awareness, it's education. We need to educate pregnant moms about smoking, drinking, the things that may cause premature birth. So I learned recently that a baby is determined premature at 5.5 pounds. That is very tiny. If any of you mothers out there know, when you give birth, a 5.5 pound baby is very tiny. And in Georgia, let's see here, In Georgia, 133,947 babies are born each year. 18,363 of those babies are born prematurely, with 4,060 babies of those are born with a birth defect. And the average cost of a healthy baby is $4,320. And the average cost for a premature baby is $55,025. And the way that you as a community can help, we can help through advocacy, research, education, and support. And we have just put together a committee that will start working on this, and we hope to have something put together by next fall. And if you're interested in helping out to bring March of Dimes back to Walton County, you can contact me. But something else that I wanted to share that I thought was very interesting about premature babies. If you will look at this paper clip, and I can get you to zoom in, this paper clip right here, very tiny. And that is the size of a premature baby's foot. That is very, very small. And this Band-Aid right here, if you see this average size Band-Aid that we all use when we get cuts in the kitchen or whatever, this is actually the size of a blood pressure cuff for a premature baby. And my ring here, my ring finger, which is pretty average for someone my size. The ring finger, that is actually, you could put this on a premature baby's arm and it will go all the way up to the shoulder. So this is pretty significant. It kind of touched me. Neither one of my children were premature, thank goodness. But we do have premature babies here in our hospital at Clearview, and usually they have to be shipped out to another facility. So we need to make sure that we can find as much education and do as much research, and we can do that through the March of Dimes. And we would ask that you call us if you want to get involved, and you will see more and more about this as the year goes on, because we're going to actually kick off an event early fall. So if you have any questions about this, any of the stats that I shared with you today, or any questions about the community events, always feel free to call us here at the partnership at 770-207-6060. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for tuning in today. As always, we're going to show you some of the dogs and cats available for adoption here at Walton County Animal Control. You know, luckily our reported cases of rabies have been a little bit lower this year, but we've still had an occasional one test positive here and there. Hall County is now up to, I think, 16 cases of positive rabies with wildlife around their county. And so it can happen here as well. And the best thing to do to prevent that or to minimize any possible problems is to have your pet vaccinated. You know, you can get a rabies shot now for about $18, $20, depending on where you go. Every Saturday at Tractor Supply in Monroe from 1 to 2:30, they offer rabies vaccinations. It's $18 for a 3-year rabies vaccine. So it's very affordable. Get that rabies shot. And you can avoid a whole lot of mess if something happens. If your dog happens to bite somebody, whether it gets scared or something might happen and it might bite somebody, if your dog does not have a current rabies vaccine, your dog will have to be boarded either at animal control or at a veterinary clinic, which is about a minimum of $100 and going up from there. If your dog or cat gets bit by wildlife, a raccoon or a skunk that tests positive for rabies, or if we're not able to catch that skunk or raccoon, then your dog will have to go into strict isolation for 6 months, which means a double-walled enclosure, and you can't pet the animal. You have to feed it through a little door. So that's 6 months. Most people end up having their dogs put to sleep. So for an $18 rabies shot, you can avoid all that mess and just have it done ahead of time and not worry about it. You know, it happens in Hall County. It could be in our county next year. Who knows where rabies goes around. So just be sure, if you keep a pet, be responsible and have it vaccinated. If you don't have a pet, we've got some here for you to adopt, and the adoption fee does include a rabies shot, so they'll be protected from any kind of rabies or parvovirus or anything like that. So you can always look on our website, waltonpets.net, to see what we have available, and now we'll show you some of the animals here.
We have us a young male yellow lab. This one right here has been neutered already. That would help save you fee in adopting. You don't have to get them fixed, and it would only cost you $40, and he's a good boy.
Here we have a little female mixed breed. She's about 2 or 3 years old. Really sweet. Glad to be outside. Looking for a good home.
This is Pepper. She is about 11 years old. She's already spayed. She is older, but she does seem to she gets along with others, and she's very friendly.
This is Maggie. She's about a 2-year-old Shar-Pei mix. She came in as a stray. We haven't quite found her owner yet, so she'll probably be available for adoption, but you got to just love those wrinkles that she's got.
Here we have what is probably a Chihuahua, wire hair, terrier mix. Male. He's not neutered. He's a year or a little under. Really sweet. Looking for a good home.
Hey, I'm Isaac with Reboot Computer Company, and we're going to give you the Reboot Tech Tip today. I wanted to talk a little bit about these people that call you on the phone and say they're Microsoft, or actually we've been somewhat of a victim of it here at Reboot. There were some guys that were calling and saying it was Reboot from Monroe. But anyway, so what they do is they actually try to get you to let them on your computer. And then they install some crazy software. They run some crazy program that tells you, you've got 500 errors, or you've got a virus or something like that. And then they want to sell you some kind of crazy service for like $500 or for $100 or whatever it is, and to get rid of that stuff. There's a couple things with that. The biggest thing is Microsoft is not going to call you. They're just not going to do that. They don't work like that. So if somebody calls you and says they're Microsoft, you go ahead and hang up the phone. It's going to be okay. The other thing is if they call you and you kind of go through the rigmarole and you do everything but let them on your computer, that's probably okay. As long as you don't let them on your computer, it's really not going to be a big deal. But I don't know of any company that will ever actually call you and say, hey, you have an issue with your computer, let me fix it for you. It just doesn't work like that. These guys, they travel around all over the place and call people, and it's a big scam and it's a big money maker. The biggest thing we always want to tell people is do not let them on your computer. Let's say you do let them on your computer. One of the things you want to do is you can take it to a shop, like Reboot here in Monroe, or somebody else you trust that works on computers. Take it to them right away, because if they get on your computer and they install something, they could be pulling information off of it every time it's on the internet. So it can be very dangerous, especially if you do like online banking and stuff like that. There's actually programs out there that they can install that do, they're called keylogger programs. And what that actually means is every time you type on the keyboard, it keeps track of every key you press, and so they get a report, with everything, and so it'll basically have your password listed in that report. And so when they get that, they can go into your bank account and then just drain it out. So it can be very dangerous. So definitely, that needs to be a huge red flag if somebody calls you. Don't let them on your computer. The only other thing I wanted to mention briefly about, this whole situation is just viruses in general. Some folks think that you don't need to have a good antivirus, or, if you have malware bites, you don't need an antivirus, or if you have a spyware thing, you don't need an antivirus, or if you have more than one antivirus, that's better. There's a couple myths about all that stuff. You definitely want to have some kind of antivirus. I don't care if you have an actual firewall device at your business or your house or whatever, you still need some sort of antivirus. We get reports that we read, and they come out about once a month. There's a company that actually tests all these major antivirus software companies, and we get a report. I will tell you that some of the top ones, like some of the top paid ones, are going to be like Kaspersky, if you've heard of that one. Bitdefender is almost always at the top. There's one called Avira that makes a free one that we actually use here at the store, and it's a decent free one. Typically that's what we load on all the computers we sell here. That one's okay. I would say probably those three are going to be, almost always at the top, so they're good ones. The other thing too is you don't want to have more than one antivirus program on your computer. What happens is they start competing with each other, and they can bring up what's called false positives, like they think they see something when they really don't. They can slow your computer way down. So only have one antivirus on your computer. Now you can also do what's called an adware or spyware program that'll help you get rid of some of that stuff. Malwarebytes is a real popular one. That's actually what we recommend, and we load that on everything we sell here. There's another one called Spybot, like Spybot Search and Destroy. It's pretty popular. It's a decent one. So we recommend having an antivirus and a program for your adware and your spyware. And then the only other thing we would really recommend is there's a program called AdBlock that you can download for free, and it attaches itself to your internet browser like Internet Explorer or Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. And what that does is it takes away all those annoying ads like on the side and just all the ads that come on the internet. So you're a little less likely to actually click on something you shouldn't be clicking on that'll bring in a virus or something like that. So the AdBlock, the spyware or adware removal program, and an antivirus is pretty much necessary for any computer that's on the network or on the internet, because there is just so much viruses and just all kind of trouble that you can get into on the internet. So we highly recommend doing all three of those things. And stay safe. Don't go to sites you're not supposed to be going to. That's another huge one. If you're not sure about it, just don't go there. But anyway, just a few tips today, and I'm Isaac with Reboot. Remember to give your computer the reboot, not the boot.
Where do you come alive? A stadium, lecture hall, a music hall, church potluck? This year, you have a new spot, walkgeorgia.org, a free website that provides you with all the resources needed to get your heart rate up and body out in your community. Sign up and receive individual or group fitness tracking, fitness demos by certified trainers, recipes, and a guide to resources in your Georgia County, all in one easy-to-use site. When you move more, you live more. walkgeorgia.org.
Do you have a collection of films and videotape sitting in your attic, basement, hall closet, or a box somewhere that are being lost to time? Creative artists can transfer your 8mm, Super 8mm, and 16mm films, as well as converting your VHS, CVHS, 8mm, and mini DV to DVD. Preserve your family's video history for the generations to come. Creative Artists, 1113 West Spring Street, Monroe, 770-267-7368. Walton County Healthcare Foundation is having its 4th annual marathon and 5K race on Saturday, December the 5th. It's going to be at the Harmony Elementary School at 934 Harmony Church Road in Monroe. Need more information? You can call the race director, David Dickinson, at 770-601-9809. The 2015 Jingle Jog will be at the Loganville High School on December the 12th. Santaland will open at 10 o'clock and the run will begin at 12:30. So come out and get your Jingle Jog on. You are cordially invited to join the First Baptist Church of Monroe for the hanging of the green service on November the 29th at 6 p.m. Come and learn the Christian meaning behind the sanctuary decorations for the Christmas season. December 3rd will be the Monroe Christmas Parade. Come out to downtown Monroe. The parade will begin at 6:30. Happy Thanksgiving from Creative Artists and Walton Entertainment.